All right, everybody, my name is James Shepard, and this is going to be a very instructional webinar for those of you in the credit card processing sales industry. What I'm really going to show you today is how you can do a true, accurate, side-by-side comparison on really just about any statement, at least the statements that I get on a regular basis from our users, and that you can complete that in about 5 minutes or less. Okay, so we have a new feature here. Now, by the way, if you stay till the end of the webinar, I do really want to show you our new marketing campaign feature. You're not going to want to miss that. It's another feature I didn't even talk about in the copy for this particular webinar, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a sneak peek of our newest feature that's really a game changer. But we're going to start with our side-by-side feature. So what I want to do here is I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm going to show you kind of the step-by-step merchant sales process as it exists today. Then we're going to switch over and look at a real statement, and I'm going to show you how to do a statement analysis on that statement. The statement we're going to look at, I just randomly selected one, wiped out all the stuff that was on there that would say, whose it was or whatever, and we're just going to run through that and do an analysis on it. So I want to start by talking about the merchant sales process because this is something I am really, really passionate about. Those of you that know me, you know that I don't just create technology that I think is cool or looks fun. I want to make technology that allows those of you on this webinar to sell more merchant accounts. That's it. That's why I have this technology. This technology is not here for any other reason other than to help you to sell more merchant accounts and to sell them more easily, more quickly. So we're going to run through and talk about how that works. So if you have our instant quote tool, by the way, if you don't have the instant quote tool, we still have a free 30-day trial up. Just go to instantquotetool.com, instantquotetool.com, and you can sign up for a free 30-day trial if you don't already have one. I should also mention here that for those of you that are in our Pro Club, if you are in our Pro Club, you have the Instant Quote Tool included with that. So again, you would just go to instantquotetool.com, use the same login as you use for like training.ccsalespro.com. It's all single sign-on. And then also, you might want to grab a piece of paper and a pen because I didn't use slides for this one because I'm actually showing you the tool and the statement, but I'm going to give you a lot of very detailed, specific information that you may want to write down. This is being recorded, and this particular one will be posted publicly on YouTube, so you can check that out. All right, let's dive in. So we're talking about selling merchant accounts. So how does that process start? Well, it usually starts one of two ways. Either you're on the phone talking to a merchant, or you walk into a business and you talk to a merchant. Now, maybe you're on the phone or you're in the business because it's a lead or a referral, or maybe it's a cold call, but it doesn't really matter. At some point, we're not talking on this webinar about prospecting, so I'm going to assume that there's X number of, merchants every month that are interested in what you're talking about, right? So we'll make that assumption that they're interested in what you're talking about, and they're going to ask you a question like, what are your rates? Or you're going to say, hey, I'd like to show you what our rates are. And so you're going to start that process. Now, the problem here is most salespeople start by saying, yeah, let me take a look at your statement. Well, as any of you know that have ever done this, I mean, if you're good at it, then sure, you can get some statements, but let's face it, I mean, that is definitely a major roadblock in the sales process. When you use instantquotetool.com, you don't start with that. What you start with is you say, let me do this for you. Let's say we're talking to Susan, and Susan owns a hair salon, and we would say, Susan, it's been great talking with you already. Here's what I'd like to do real quick before I leave today or before we get off the phone. I just want to email you a free pricing quote that shows you what our pricing is so that you could take a look at that and see where we're at, see if it might be something that makes sense. So let me just get some basic information from you. I don't need your statement right now. You may need to grab it to get a little bit of information, but I'm just going to ask you a couple really quick questions. Now you notice I clicked on quote. Of course, I probably would be doing this from my iPad or my iPhone, in my case, out in the field. But you could do it on your computer if you're on the phone with somebody or whatever it is. So the first thing we would do is we would go and select the business type. Now, of course, in most cases, you don't actually need the business owner here. You can just select the business type. Now, Selecting the business type and getting it right is a very important when you don't have the statement and you don't know how much interchange they're paying, because the business type is going to have a huge impact on our algorithm's ability to predict interchange. The good news is that what I'm going to show you today, as far as a full side-by-side, is not nearly as dependent on this, okay? But again, at the beginning, we didn't ask for a statement. We just want to give them a quick quote. So we would go down here to services. We're going to choose hair or nail salon because that's what they are. And then we're going to put some information in here. Now, we could go right ahead to the advanced mode if we already had a statement and put the merchant activity here. But we're going to stay in simple mode for now. And the only question we're going to ask is this. We're going to say, Susan, do you know last month roughly how much credit card processing volume did you do like on your last statement? 20,000, 25,000, 15,000, any idea roughly what you did last month? And let's say that she says we did about 17,500, okay? So we've got that, all right? Now we would say this. We'd say, now, Susan, you may or may not have this information. Our system is showing that kind of an industry average in terms of fees that you would pay would be around $460. It says $458.08 on here. Does that sound right? Did you pay a little more, a little less? Any idea what you paid last month? And if she says, I'm really not sure what we paid. You say, no problem at all. Let me just go ahead and create this real quick. Now, you also have the average ticket here, but again, we're going to kind of assume that if we pick the right business type, the average ticket's probably, pretty close. So we're going to go ahead and click on Create. So the only information we got was this estimated total volume, from the merchant, and that's it. So now, when I pull this up, I have my default program as a cash discount program. So let's click on Compare Programs. And here we can see all the different kind of pricing templates we have available. I'm going to go ahead and choose Interchange Plus, which is more of a kind of standard thing that all of you are familiar with. This is Interchange Plus pricing. So I want you to notice what our system did here kind of by default without really giving it much data to work with. So what it did is it went in and it created a merchant activity table that's estimated. Based on, we went in and looked at other hair and nail salons. We have statements loaded in our system. And we look at, what percentage of their volume was Visa versus MasterCard versus Discover. And we come up with these approximate numbers. We also figured out that the interchange is approximately $264.60. And again, that's the approximate interchange based on our table, et cetera, et cetera. Then we went down here and we pulled in the proposed fees from the programs, which I'm going to show you that a little bit more in depth later. But think of this as this is the pricing template that you preloaded into the system that says, this is how I price a merchant. And then down here, we also figured out your approximate residuals here. And this one's at a 50% split. Again, you would put your program in with your residual split and, your Schedule A costs. But this shows that for us, with our 50% split, we would be getting $40 a month. And then down here, you can see the actual interchange table that our algorithm created in order to come up with that 264, okay? But, at its core, really, to be honest, none of that really matters that much right now because all that stuff I just showed you, that's really just an estimate, from our algorithm. And so the whole reason that we did all of that is because we wanted to give them the proposed fees, which is very handy because now what we actually say to the merchant is, we say, well, what I can tell you is that if you went with us, it looks like you'd be paying somewhere around $400 a month. It seems like that would be the number you'd be paying. Do you have any idea what you paid last month? I know you said you didn't know originally. Would you be able to grab a statement or something and just take a look? I don't need to see it, but just if you could take a look or maybe look at your bank account and see how much you paid last month in processing fees. Now, it's very important at this point. We want to make sure we get the total fees, So, we need to see some kind of total information there. So at this point, let's say that they now go and grab their statement. And the thing I love about this approach is if you do this right, the merchant will usually go and get their statement or pull it up without you even asking them to. You're going to ask them for information and then they're going to provide that information. So here are the steps to creating a side-by-side merchant statement analysis. Are you ready? Very, very simple. Okay. Step one, enter the total existing fees. Where do we do that at? Well, we go down to the existing fees down here. And right now, existing fees, it says unknown, enter fees. Well, that's pretty simple. So we click on the link. And let's say that when she brings the statement back, it says that they paid $478 in total fees. So let's save that. Now, once you save that, what it's going to do is it's going to take you to an existing fees table. Well, what is this? Well, what this does is this existing fees table actually takes you in to show you what their existing fees are. Now, we don't know what all their existing fees are because we don't have their statement yet. We haven't entered anything into it. And I'm going to get to this in just a second. But what we can see here is we can see their interchange, because interchange should be the same for their existing as it is for, as it will be with you. We can see their debit network access fees and their American Express Blue, which are currently 0. We didn't enter anything for that yet. And then we can also see their assessments and their network access brand usage fees, which, just like interchange, these are the pass-through costs. So when we put all of that into the system, we know they paid $478, and we know that they've got $293.48 in itemized fees that we know of, which is the interchange, the dues and assessments, these pass-through costs. Well, that leaves $184.52. Now, why did I take you to this screen, right? Well, the reason I took you here is not because of the technology, not because of how this flows with the technology. No. I did this because I want you to sell merchant accounts. And the way to sell them is to get to this point where they told you the total from the statement. So they usually at this point are holding the statement themselves, or they looked it up online. And you say, okay, great. Well, you know what's interesting? I can tell you, just from you giving me that number 478, there should be about $293 in pure pass-through cost. So that leaves $184 in what we call remaining fees. I would love to know what those are, and we could actually put those in and show you side by side how our program compares with what you have now. Would you like to know what those $184 were? And they're like, well, yeah, of course I would, right? So what do? They hand you the statement. Okay, so now we have the statement. So before we go through and do all this, we're going to go back to the proposal. So again, step 1, enter the total fees, existing total fees. All right, and what that's going to do is, if you go down to the existing fees, that's going to then allow us to put all of these fees in that are passed through, create a remaining fee section, which we're going to get to in a minute. Step number 2, edit the merchant activity. So right here, merchant activity, you're going to click on edit. When you go in here, you're then going to put in the volume and number of transactions. This is super, super easy. Anybody can do this. Even if you're a brand new green agent, have no idea what you're doing, all you have to do is look at the statement, and either right at the top or at the very bottom, they're going to have something called a card type summary report, okay? And again, I'm going to do a statement analysis here in a minute for you. But all you do is you just put these numbers in. It's really easy. Just key in the total volume and number of transactions for all these different ones. So maybe I'm going to make some changes real quick here. Let's go down. Let's say they do have some American Express volume, $325 in Amex, which was 9 transactions, and maybe they had $1,287 in PIN debit, which is 34 transactions. Okay, and now what you do is you go ahead and update it. So step 1, enter the total fees. Step 2, create edit the merchant activity, the volume and number of transactions, and go ahead and click on update before you do anything else. Okay, so that's step 3. Now it's going to take you back here to the proposal. Now, a couple things have changed since we entered the total fees, and now that we've adjusted everything, we now do have savings, which the savings number is now totally accurate, right? Because you said what your fees are going to be, you've said what their fees are going to be. So that savings number should be pretty accurate. There's one more step to make it totally to the penny, but we're getting really close. Okay, so let's go through it again. Step 1, enter their total fees in the existing fees section. This is very simple. Step 2, update the merchant activity, the volume, and transactions. Step 3, click on update. Step 4, edit the interchange Amex Blue debit network access fees. So click on edit in the merchant activity again. Our algorithm has now re-estimated their interchange based on the numbers you gave us, and it's now estimated our American Express OptBlue and our debit network access fees. Now, there is one of two things that you can do here. Option number one is, if at this point you now have the statement, then you can look at the statement and calculate the interchange. And you could put the exact amount. So maybe the interchange is actually $253.46. Maybe the Amex OptBlue is $4.78. And maybe the debit network access fees is $17.89. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this in a second because there's a couple steps here to getting the interchange. Some of you might get confused by this, which leaves you to option two. Option two is if you don't understand the statement or you don't have the statement, then you just skip this step. We have already estimated interchange, and our algorithm is going to do a much better job of guessing than you are, no matter how experienced you are, because our system's able to do 30,000 calculations in under a second. So we're looking at a huge database of statements to come up with our estimate, so just keep it. But if you have the statement and you want to get an exact to-the-penny side-by-side comparison, you just go in and edit those numbers to be exactly what they should be. And again, I'm going to show you that on a statement here in just a minute. Then you click on Update again. So again, I'm going to keep running through these steps so you get it, right? Step one, enter the total fees. Step two, edit the merchant activity with the volume and transactions and click Update. Step three is enter the interchange, OptBlue, and network access fees if you have them and you understand them. Then you enter those and edit that information so that it's exact. Now you'll notice down here it'll actually say entered by agent rather than saying it's estimated. It'll say estimated if we estimated it through our algorithm. It'll say entered by agent if you entered it. Okay? So now once that's done, now we have a to-the-penny analysis. Okay? Even by doing nothing else, we now have a to-the-penny analysis. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to click on Change Template. And let's choose our side-by-side IC Plus. All of you should have this one here. And let's look at our merchant view. Now, in our merchant view, we now have a side-by-side analysis that shows the monthly, annual, and 3-year savings. If we scroll down to the bottom here, we also can see our totals. Our total fees, $426.03. Their total fees currently $478. Savings, $51.97. Now, the only thing that's actually missing here, because that's exactly accurate to the penny, but if you notice right here, the unitemized fees. We currently have 0 unitemized fees. Why? Because as far as the proposed fees, we know what our fees are, right? We already entered them as a program or a pricing template, so we already know what our fees are. We didn't have to do anything with that. This is 35 basis points and 8 cents. And we can change those in a little bit. I'll show you how to edit them. But, that's not a problem. But with their fees, if you remember, we really didn't enter anything. All we entered was the total from their statement. We didn't enter any of the other fees. So we have $174 in what's called unitemized fees, which just means there's $174 in other fees. We don't know what those are because we haven't entered them in the system yet. Okay? Now, as a result, that creates kind of a bad-looking side-by-side comparison because, as far as we know, they don't have any basis points of markup or anything. And so it shows there's negative savings all the way down here on everything. And then at the bottom, it's like, yeah, but you have 174 in unitemized fees. We have 0, so there's still a savings. So if we really want this to look right, we need to go back to our agent view here. So again, let's talk about the steps one more time. We entered our total fees. We edited the merchant activity, the volume and transactions, and updated it. Then we edited our additional cost factors or the pass-through costs like interchange, OptBlue, and network access fees. Now the next step is we're going to go down to the existing fees and we're going to edit the existing fees. Now this is where we're going to simply work our way through the statement and we're going to mark these fees off one by one and we're going to enter them. So as we do that, it's going to take our remaining fees down. Once our remaining fees is at 0, then we know we entered every single fee correctly from the statement, okay? So let's say that this merchant is at 45 basis points and 9 cents. So we're going to add a existing fee of 45 basis points. We're going to add a per item of 9 cents. Okay. Then we're going to add Amex per item, and let's say they're paying 25 cents Amex per item fee. And you can see our remaining fees are dropping here. And then let's say they have an Amex, they charge 40 basis points. Let's say it's the same as us, 40 basis points. PIN debit per item, let's say they're paying less there. They're paying 15 cents. Now you'll notice that as you're entering these, whichever side is lower is going to be green, which is really a nice user interface. You can see you're proposing 35 basis points, they're currently paying 45. So this is in green. Here, they're currently paying 15, you're charging 20, so theirs is in green, their current one. Okay? So then you get down here to these fees, and maybe they have a monthly fee of, I don't know, $19.95. And maybe they have a PIN, maybe they don't have a PIN debit fee here, and they have a PCI monthly fee of $7.95, let's say. So I'm just kind of entering some basic information here. All right. So now, if you look at this, you can see that we've already entered kind of everything here that they have. In other words, all the proposed fees, we've entered all of their fees side by side. But we still have $34.99 remaining. Why is that? Well, this is where you're going to get to the next step, right? So you're going to go and enter all the side-by-side fees, meaning whatever you charge, are they charging something for that as well? And if so, let's go and enter that so that it's side-by-side. Then we got to deal with these remaining fees in two ways, okay? Number one, go ahead and add in the fees that they have that you don't have. How do you do that? Well, you just go over here and click on New, and you give it a name. Maybe they have a PCI non-compliance. I'm sure you've all seen that one, right? So then you got to select your fee type, and there's some helpful text here, but this is a monthly fee. Now you can see in the fee type, you can add an annual fee, you can add an Amex volume, like basis point fee, you can add an Amex per item fee, and if you're like, well, what does that mean? What is that? Well, just click on it. Let's click on Amex volume. A rate charged on all American Express volume, and you can see that this is BP, which stands for basis points. So maybe they have an additional 15 basis point charge on Amex, right? And so let's actually do that. Let's enter that. So we'll call this the Amex Volume Fee, and this is an additional fee, and it's something that we don't have, okay? So if we scroll down here, here is the Amex Volume Fee. You can see they're charging 15 basis points, we're charging nothing, and that's a 49-cent fee. Okay, let's add another one. Let's go ahead and add our PCI non-compliance. Well, what kind of fee is this? This is a monthly fee, and that's by far the most common. In fact, if you don't know what a particular fee is and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not sure what type of fee it is, it doesn't matter. Just make it a monthly fee, because then it's a monthly fee. It's on the statement. And then you just put the amount in, right? So let's say that on this fee, on this one, they paid $24.99, or $24.95 rather, as a PCI non-compliance. So we hit save. Now we can see our remaining fees is actually down to $9.55. So we've now entered all of the fees that we have that they also have. That's the first step with this particular view. So we've lined them up. Next, we entered the fees that they have that we don't have, which if we go down here, we don't have this PCI non-compliance because we're going to make them compliant. And we also don't have this extra Amex volume fee of 15 basis points. Okay. The last thing we're going to look at is, are there fees that they have that we would also have, but we don't show them currently on our proposed pricing? So maybe there's some kind of additional Visa fee. You don't know what it is. You're looking at it and you're like, I don't know what that is, but I can tell it's some kind of an interchange upcharge that I didn't include in my original calculation of interchange, but it's a fee. Now, a couple of things you could do. You could just leave it like this. If you go back to the proposal now and you look at your merchant view, you now do have a great side-by-side comparison to the penny. Everything looks great here, right? So now it shows everything the way it should. Everything looks great. And by the way, this looks good on mobile as well. You can go ahead and do a PDF. And let's take a look at our PDF document here. So we have our side-by-side in PDF. Also, we can now go ahead and email it, send via email. We can send this email to the prospect. So we have our full side-by-side. But if you're like, no, James, it's still to me a little bit off because I've got that $9.55, and maybe you're a perfectionist like me when it comes to statement analysis, and you're like, I don't want to have $9.55 remaining. I want everything itemized. And that $9.55 is actually interchange. It's actually cost that you're going to have and they're going to have as well. So you realize that actually what you need to do there is you need to add a fee that applies to both their current statement and if they go with you. Well, then it's very easy. All you do is take that final remaining fees. If you're like, I don't know what it is, it's a small amount, you look at it and you're like, I think it's interchange, I think it's some kind of a cost, easy. All we're going to do is we're just going to add that to our interchange amount so that it applies to both statements. So if you look right now, you can see that the interchange is $253.46 for both the current and the proposed, right? So all we're going to do is take that $253.46 plus $9.55, and that's $2.63. I'm sorry, $263. Hold on, that doesn't seem right. $253.46 plus $9.55, $263.01. That's better. $263.01. So let's go back to our proposal. We're going to edit our merchant activity. And we are going to change our total interchange to $263.01 and update it. And now when we go back down to our existing fees and click on edit, oh, it actually rounded it up 2 cents. So you might want to go back in there and adjust that. So our interchange algorithm is, when you put that number in, our interchange algorithm is literally saying, okay, we need to find out exactly what that interchange table looks like, and so it might have rounded it up or down or whatever. But the itemized fee is greater than the total fees provided. So let's make this, maybe the total fee should have been $478.02. So we'll edit that. And now we're going to be to the penny here, right? So now remaining fees is 0. Everything is itemized. We now have a full side-by-side comparison that we can send to the merchant. And again, this is not like, nothing is left here that's estimated at all. This is all exact information that was entered into the tool. So before I show you how to do this on a real statement, are there any questions that anybody has? I'm going to do my best to answer your questions here. Let me pull this over real quick. Where do we find our programs? Great question, Scott. Let me show you. Go right over here and click on Settings. Scroll down and Manage Programs. So you click on Manage Programs. Here are the different programs you have. You can click on Details, and then you could click on Edit. Okay? So you can edit the program there. And then you can also go down here and click on Details with any of these fees, and you can edit these fees. And by the way, I have a lot of really good videos. If you go to the frequently asked questions section here, I have a bunch of videos about adding conditional fields, creating programs, adding custom fields to programs. How do I create an Interchange Plus program? How do I create flat rate? All of that. Lots and lots of information on that there. Okay, good question. Any other questions here? Let's see. Can you compare cash discount? Of course. That's one of the great things about our tool is that you can go back and forth between anything you want. So let's go back to our proposal here. Let's click on Compare Programs. And you say, yeah, you know what? I want to compare this to cash discounting. Okay, so click on Choose. Merchant View. And now you'd say, well, yeah, the way that this works, Mr. Jones, is that with us, if you do cash discount, you're going to pay this 3.99%, but you're not going to pay any of the interchange cost, right? So you don't have to pay any of these pass-through costs. And then also down here, we're collecting the customer service fee revenue to offset, everything. And so at the end of the day here, your total fees that we would charge you would be $67. You're currently paying $478.02. That's a savings of $410 a month. Mark is saying that he does not have the side-by-side template in his profile. Mark, I will just double check. I don't know why on earth that would have happened. anyway, I thought everybody had that. So that's our fault, Mark. I will fix that immediately after this. I'm going to make sure that we have everything in there for sure. So yeah, everybody will have the side-by-side template for sure. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, good question, Landon. We do not deal with Wex or Voyager at all. It does not exist in our system. So what you would do is, and I'll tell you why, by the way. The reason is because, first of all, very few agents actually deal with that anymore. Very few ISOs deal with those verticals. And the ones who do, they usually don't save them any money. They just let them keep their Wex account or their Voyager account. So it's not really part of the quote, like the savings part. If it is for you, I apologize. There's just no way to do that. The only way you could add it, if you're like, James, I really want to put that in there, what you would do, Landon, is you would just add 2 monthly fees, right? One monthly fee would be the total Wex fees that you're proposing, and the other would be the total Wex fees they're currently paying. So you can add anything you want as a monthly fee, you know what I mean? It's just that, it doesn't really show like number of transactions times X pennies, you know what I mean? It's just a 2 monthly fees. So you could do it that way. But what most people do is they actually just remove the whole thing. So yeah, let's see here. Can I put 2 quotes from me so it compares traditional and cash discount just from my company? Yes, I think, Thomas. I'm not totally sure what you're asking there, but yeah, I mean, you could put, sure, you could load one of your own statements in there from your own company if you want to take a look at it. Sure. Can we now change the cash discount rate to a lower percentage? So, Tony, I'm guessing you might actually be working with one of our ISO partners. You can always change it to whatever you want. What happens is if you go to the settings, and you go to manage programs, and then you go to the cash discount one, click on details here. If you go down and look at this, you're going to see that our customer service fee right now is set to a minimum of negative $3.99 because it's a service fee. And then our VMD volume is set to a minimum of $250. You have the authority to totally change this to whatever you want. So you could say, yeah, I can price them as low as 1%, which is 100 basis points. So you would make this negative 100 and you would make this 100. So you can change the controls. If you're working with like one of our ISO partners and they have a branded solution, then the ISO administrator is the one that controls what these minimums can be. So you need to reach out to your ISO administrator and say, hey, look, I need to price these people lower and I can't do it. And then the ISO administrator can either go in and change it, or they can reach out to our support team and we will go in and change it. But if you're actually using instantquotetool.com, yeah, just log in and change it to whatever you want. If you run into issues with that, just click on support down here, the support bubble, and just, type out your issue and our support team will take care of it for you. Good question there. Yeah, so if you are with one of the ISO partners, you'd have to contact the ISO admin. Okay, cool. All right, I want to show you one more thing real quick on this, and then we're going to pull up a statement, and then I'm going to show you the last thing I really want to show you is our marketing campaigns. Okay, so let's go back to our agent view here. The very last step that I did not talk about yet is editing your proposed fees. So, once you have everything in here, let me get rid of our cash discount deal here. Let's go back to Interchange. By the way, we have surcharging too, so let's go back to Interchange Plus. So you look at this and you say, okay, I'm saving them 42 and the residuals are 40. I think I want to save them a little bit more money. Okay, so go down here to the proposed fees section and click on edit. And then you can change whatever you want. So you might say, well, I think I'm going to price them at 30 basis points and 7 cents. Okay, and you can change anything you want here, and then you click on save. And now you're saving them a little bit more, and your residuals are a little less, as you would expect. And again, if you go down to the proposed fees, you can see those changes have been made. So changing the proposed fees is pretty simple. You just click edit and change the fee you want to change. Okay. The proposal in the past did not read correctly. I'm not sure, Tony, what you'd be referring to there. What I've sent you, just send me an example, Tony. I'm not sure. I mean, keep in mind, again, it sounds like you're with one of our ISO relate. We have a lot of ISOs that use the tool, and they have, it's really more them than us in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're the ones that create these proposals. So I don't know. I mean, if you send me it and there's an error, what I would do is my team would reach out to their team and then we would get it fixed. But definitely, if there's an issue, please do let us know that or let them know that, one of us, and either side, I'm sure, can initiate a fix if there's an issue with their proposal. But we have run into that. We actually had one just the other day where one of our big ISOs that uses it, and here they had a fee in there that they no longer charge, and one of the agents was like, hey, there's this fee we don't charge anymore. I'm like, so we reached out, we confirmed it, and then we removed the fee for them. So that does happen. Okay, cool. All right, so my programs say demo, even though Sean entered my TMS rates. Should it still say demo? So what will happen is it'll say demo by default, and then Sean goes in and edits it to have your rates. All you have to do to change that is just go here to your, go here to your settings, go down to manage programs, find the program. So let's say we want to change this one, click on details. All you have to do is click on edit right here in the program, and then just change the name like that, and then save it. And then now it says Interchange Plus. So you can change it to whatever you want. Okay, good. All right. So hopefully you guys like that, our side-by-side feature. Pretty cool stuff. Let's do a statement for real quick. All right. Now, I'm going to start a new quote up here. So let's take a quick glance at our statement. All right. So here's our statement. Scroll up to the top here. Actually, let me move this over here. All right, so this is a hardware store, okay? So if we look down through here, we can see some basic information. And we can see like total volume numbers and stuff like that. Now, because I already have the statement, let me scroll down past this here. Let's just scroll down a little bit here. And let's keep going. Whoop. And you can see here's the card type summary report right here. Okay, this is what we need. So, oops, sorry, they're having a little issues with that one. That PDF doesn't want to work. So we're going to go and just enter this information directly from the statement. That'll just be a lot easier for us. Okay. Now they've actually added some different things in here. In our system, our algorithm is going to split up your debit versus credit numbers, so you don't have to worry about that at all. You can just add up the total Visa, total MasterCard, total Amex, total Discover. You can just add all that stuff up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our Visa numbers here. So let me go back to the tool. Whoops. Okay, so let's go back here. So let's start by choosing, what this is. So this is retail. And you can choose a lot of different ones here for a hardware store. I think the last time I did this, I ended up choosing a convenience store, which has a really small average ticket size. Hardware stores may be a little higher. I might actually go with something like clothing for this one. Has a $101 average ticket, which is probably going to be pretty close. Again, it doesn't really matter because we're not going to use the algorithm here anyway. We're actually going to enter the information. So let's actually go through this flow the way I explained it to you guys. So again, if you already have the statement, you can just click on advanced mode down here, and you could just go and enter it right off the bat. But let's assume we don't have that. So our total volume is 34,771. So I'll go back to simple mode. So let's say that they told us that they do around 35,000, right? And we don't know what their total fees are yet, so we're going to click on create. Now it says that, hey, let's compare programs. Let's go to Interchange Plus here. And we tell them, hey, our fees would be probably around $578.32. And let's see what they're currently paying. Let's see here. Sorry, give me 1 second. Again, I haven't looked. I intentionally didn't want to look at it because I wanted to do a real analysis for you guys. But hold on here. Oh, that's right. I forgot this processor has it at the top instead of the bottom. So, okay, here we go. So, wow, that's actually really crazy. Look at this. So, total fees is $723.90. If you remember, again, I haven't even looked at this one. When you go to the quote and you put in 35,000, let me do it one more time. So, we're going to create a new one here. Clothing, 35,000. Look at this. Average total fees based on your industry, $723.16. Actual total fees is $723.90. Tell me our algorithm doesn't work. So anyway, all right, so we got that in there. Let's go and create. Now, what we're going to do is we're now going to go in here and we completed the first step. Step number 2 is what? See if anybody can tell me over in the question box. Okay, somebody type out. What are we supposed to do next? What's step number 2? We want to do a side-by-side comparison. I want to see if you guys got it. Somebody tell me in the question box over there. What should we do next? What's step number 2? Yes, enter the total fees. Correct. Good job, Michael. So go down here and again, let me compare programs here, and I want to switch this over to Interchange Plus. Again, you can change your default program. This is just my default, so you can change them by changing the order in your profile. So let's go here and enter our existing fees, which is $723.90. Save. Okay. Now we're here. So now we tell the merchant, well, Mr. Merchant, looks like you have about 315 uncategorized fees here. I don't know what they are, but I know that you have them because I know that the pass-through cost should be around $408. Would you like to know what that 315 is? I'd be glad to take a look at your statement for you for free here and just do a quick analysis. And of course, the merchant says, I'd love to. So now what we do next is what? Somebody type it out in the question box. What's next that we got to do? Everybody get that question box open. I want to see if you remember what to do next, okay? So we actually had the correct answer last time, somebody said, but edit the merchant activity, correct. So we're going to click on edit. So now we're going to put the exact numbers in, right? So there we go. All right. So now we're going to scroll down to towards the bottom here. Where is it? It's up here. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and enter the information. So what we got to do is we got to add up our numbers. Now again, this will be kind of boring for some of you at home because I didn't already add these up. But I'm going to add up all of our Visa numbers here, okay? So $12,731.90, $12,731.90 plus $1124.55 plus $9148.25 equals $23,470. So we're going to go, wow, look how close that is. Again, I'm telling you guys, our algorithm is pretty close. But again, this is about making it exactly to the penny. So that's what we're going to do. But I'm telling you, that's pretty close, right? All right. Next, we need to know how many transactions. 29 plus 2 plus 77. That's we're adding up this right here in case you're a little bit lost. 108. Okay. So 108. And that's because we entered the wrong average. I didn't actually put the average ticket in originally, so that's going to be a little off. All right, MasterCard. Ready? Let's go back here, and we're going to add up. So now we're in this section right here. So let's add up our volume. 1753.41 plus 4706.66, 6460.07. All right, and then 34 transactions. All right, Discover down here, 2 transactions, 386.45. 2 transactions, and then we have a little bit of Amex, 8 transactions here for 49.1988. Okay, I don't see any PIN debit. Let me just double check that one more time. Yeah, I don't think they put them in a separate section, so we're good. So this merchant does not take PIN debit, so we can leave that at 0. So again, make sure you understand there's a difference between PIN debit and signature debit, okay? PIN debit is where you're entering your PIN number. Signature debit runs over the card brands and has interchange cost. Now, resist the urge to go ahead and change these numbers down here. First, go ahead and update. You can do it. It'll work fine, but it's a little bit cleaner if you first update this. Let the tool kind of reset so you can actually see what it's now projecting as, you know, interchange cost and things like that, so you can compare it to the actual numbers. Okay, good. Next step is now we're going to edit the interchange Amex.Blue and debit network fees and all that, right? So click on edit here. So same place, but now we're going to edit this. So let's go ahead and figure out our interchange cost. Now, I remember I told you to take some notes. This is where the notes come in handy because this is a little bit of a process in and of itself, okay? So if we wanted to kind of look down at, interchange here, that could be a little bit confusing because if you notice, like on mini statements, this is the interchange table. They have combined the Visa, pass-through interchange, and fees. It's all combined into this one thing here, which can be, very confusing. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to add up these totals. So if we go down here, let's look and find our total. Let's see. Give me a second to take a look at this statement and take it in here. So, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our total number here, okay? So the first thing you want to do is find a total. Sometimes they'll give you a total interchange. Sometimes they don't. That's okay. We're just going to take $723.90. We're going to start by subtracting out the fees that are being charged by the processor here, right? So the subtotal there is $146.11. So minus $146.11. Then we're going to scroll up a little bit. We also need to take out the things that are not interchange fees. The things that are not interchange fees are things like the network access brand usage fee, okay, and the assessments. So whenever you see the network access or the assessments, now, again, if you get this wrong, if it's a smaller merchant, it's not going to be the end of the world, but you want to try to get it as close as you can because interchange fees are what's charged by the banks, whereas these network access fees and the network access brand usage fees and the network assessment fees, those are not actually interchange. So they get lumped in sometimes. So all you have to do is try to take them out as best you can. So what you're looking for is fees that are usually around 1.95 cents, something like that. So that's going to be this Discover Data Usage Fee is what they call it. Can't really see it there, but it's 4 cents. So we're going to go minus 0.04. Then let's go up a little bit here, see if there's an assessment, and there is. See this? Discover Assessment Fee, 50 cents, so minus 0.5. And that's a percentage fee that they charge. Take out American Express completely because we're going to deal with that separately as well. So minus 115.57. We're just looking for the Visa, MasterCard, Discover interchange, right? So then we're going to go up a little bit here and we're going to take out the NABU. That's the Network Access Brand Usage Fee. And look at that. It's 1.95 cents, okay? So we're going to take out 80 cents. And let's find the assessment. It's the top one, which is kind of standard here. 572. Okay. Minus. Let's go to Visa. And here is the Visa Network Acquiring Processing Fee. I love how everybody calls it something different. Isn't that so convenient? It just makes life so easy for us salespeople, doesn't it? So let's take out this $2.25. And then let's look for the assessment. Here it is, the Visa assessment right here. 13 basis points, $29.93. So minus $29.93. And it looks like this statement is a little bit older, actually. They don't have them split. The assessments are actually split now. You'll see with Visa, you'll normally see 2 assessments now, one for credit, one for debit. So once we take all that stuff out, we get $422.98. That is our interchange. So you can see that our algorithm here was actually low on this one. And it is going to be low more than high because it's going to have optimized interchange. And a lot of people haven't optimized their interchange at all. Okay, so we have our interchange. Now let's get our Amex out blue. So let's scroll down to American Express. So we have a $7.38 fee here. And these are, it looks like these are all costs. Yeah, so this is all Amex out blue cost right here. $115.57. Okay, $115.57. And they are actually including a 15 basis point assessment fee, but we're going to lump that in here. That's all American Express out blue costs. And there's no debit network access, so now we can update it. Okay, here we go. What is our next step? So by the way, we now have a totally accurate to the penny analysis here, okay, as far as the savings. Now, it's not fully side by side yet because we didn't enter all the existing fees by detail, but it is accurate. And you can see with our current pricing, we're not saving them money, it's going to cost them money. So we're going to have to adjust our proposed fees, but we're not going to do that yet. We want to get the full picture first. So let's go down here and let's edit our existing fees. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the fee section. And what I do is I actually print the statement out and I get a pen and a piece of paper. I get a pen and I actually cross stuff off. So I would have crossed off all the interchange and everything here. And then I'm going to go down all the way down to the processing fees here, right? So we have an Amex Express, an American Express discount of 25 basis points. So we go to Amex Volume and they're being charged 25 basis points. Save that. Okay, there's the first one. The next one is an American Express transaction fee of 5 cents. So let's go to our Amex per item. And they are charging 5 cents. And you can see why ours is more because, their fees are less than our proposed over here. That's why they're all in green right now. Okay. All right, we got that. Let's go to the next one. Discover transaction fee, which is 5 cents. And you can see they're all at 5 cents and they're all at 25 basis points. So, that makes it a little bit easier to look at this, right? So let's just go ahead and make that change. So there doesn't matter what the card type is, they're charging 25 basis points and 5 cents. Okay, so we can do that. You can see we still have $48.51 remaining. So we got to figure out what that's from. So we've now knocked out our, all of this stuff here, all these 25 basis point ones, all these 5 cent ones. So let's look and see what else is left. Service and regulatory mandate, $33.50. Okay, that's a big one. So $33.50, that's a monthly fee. So we're going to go new because let's say we don't have a fee quite that. Well, actually, let me go back a second. I think we do actually have one like that. Don't we on here? No, we don't. Okay, and again, maybe you do with your program, but if you don't, just put it in here. So call it a service and regulatory fee. And I forgot what it was already. $33.50. So this is a monthly fee. And again, I pretty much only add monthly fees. I really don't do much else with this. I mean, it's pretty rare. Unless you have like a gateway fee or something. Usually I'm just adding this stuff as monthly fees. So that makes it easy. Okay, so now we have that $33.50. We still have $15.01 that we're missing. Let's find out why. So let's go down a little bit here. So we got this one, 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 and this one. So it looks like we got everything in there. So what happened here is I must have miscalculated a little bit when I was up here with these different fees. I probably subtracted the wrong number or something. So, we've got a little bit left. We got $15 left here that's like unaccounted for. And again, if I was really doing this, I would have been crossing them off one at a time and I wouldn't have missed anything, but I didn't do that. And so I must have missed one along the way. I was taking one more look real quick to see and I don't see it. Yeah. So I don't see that one. So again, what I would do here, just because, I want to be like really careful and make sure I'm doing it exactly right. You could either just leave that as an uncategorized thing, or you could take the 1501 and you could add that to the interchange, which is $422.98, which makes it $437.99. Go back to the proposal, edit the merchant activity here, and let's make our interchange $437.99. And again, sometimes the rounding can get a little bit off. We'll see if it actually did that. $437.99, that should work. So let's go down here to our existing fees and click edit. And now we have we actually have 5 cents here that's off. Let's see here, 437. Oh, you know what? Actually, I must have added that wrong then. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. So that should be $437.94 actually. So you can see, I mean, I just wanted to actually do one in real life. This has taken me about 8 minutes so far. Okay, so let's go $437.94. Okay, let's go down to our proposed fees. Whoops. Existing fees, rather. And we should have, yep, 0 remaining fees. I just added wrong there, but there you go. Okay, so now we have a full side-by-side comparison. Now what we're going to do, though, is we're going to go back to our proposal, and we're going to look at the merchant view. Let's change our template to side-by-side here. And we're going to look at our merchant view. And let's see why our savings is, not great. Well, we're charging 35 basis points. They're charging 25. We are charging 8 cents. They're charging 5 cents. So pretty obvious, right? So let's go back to the agent view here and let us edit our proposed fees as the last step. And we're going to have to beat their pricing. So we're going to put them at 20 basis points and 5 cents. So we're going to save them a little bit of money on that. And we don't have that $33 fee. So hopefully between those two, we're going to offer them, $20 a month in savings. We're going to generate about $70 in gross margin down here. Yep, $70 in gross margin. With our residual split at 50, we're going to make $35. Any questions on this before we jump over to some other things here? Monthly versus daily discount, 5 basis points. Yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. Let's take a look at that again. Monthly versus daily discount, 5 basis. That's it right there, isn't it? That's $17.38 right there. Yeah, that's actually a really interesting one. So what happened there is that they collected the wrong amount on the daily discount. Yeah, you're actually right, Mark. That's, yeah, you're right. That actually should have been in there as just a regular monthly fee. That was the one I missed. If I was going through crossing them off, I'm sure we would have got that one, but yeah, that's a weird one, actually. They charged them 5 cents on each transaction. No, you know what that is? Actually, that's interesting. Let's go ahead and add that in there, Mark. What that is that's actually a 5 cent per item fee on all the transactions, 152. They're charging an extra 5 cents on all the transactions in order to process a daily discount. So that's, I've actually not seen that before. Isn't that great? I have literally, Mark, looked at, I'm sure, 2,000 or 3,000 statements at this point, and I've never seen that before. And that's actually a processor I know really, really well, and I've never seen it before on theirs. But here's the great news about it, right? Our system can handle it, no problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back down here and add that, and then we're going to take our interchange down to match it real quick. So let's add this new fee in. And this is, check this out. We actually have a fee type called VMD plus Amex plus PIN debit per item. That means it's going to put something on every single transaction, no matter what it is. And we're going to call this the daily discount offset. And this is an amount charged for each Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Amex, and PIN debit transaction. 5 cents. Save. Okay, and now we need to adjust our interchange down $7.60. So $437.94 minus $7.60 equals $430.34. So let's edit that. Okay, and now if we go to our merchant view, we now have an exact thing. You can see now we're saving them some money along the way. At the bottom now we're showing, $27 a month in savings. And we now have a full side-by-side comparison. Good catch, Mark. All right, anybody else got anything? Good. No, it wasn't 5 basis points, I don't think. Hold on, let's look at that again. That's funny, I might have still got it wrong. See, I'm just showing you guys what an expert I am. That's funny. No, it was a per item. It was a per item here. Yeah. Wait, no, you're right. No, it was down here. Yeah, I was looking at this one. Yeah, you're right. That was actually basis points. You're killing me, guys. You're absolutely killing me here. I'm supposed to be really good at this. Nicely done. So let's go back here. And again, I think I'm just in a hurry. That's going to be my excuse today. So let's edit that one real quick. Daily discount offset. So check this out. All you got to do is just change. So we're going to delete this. And then we're going to change the type. So we're going to go new. and we actually are looking for Amex Pin Debit Volume. So Amex, VMD, Amex, whatever. And now we'll do daily discount offset. And now you do 5 basis points. And I think it was 1738, wasn't it? Let's see for, yep, there you go. 1739, there you go. And now we got to take our interchange down again. So what is this? 3rd time's the charm, right? So we're right there. Hopefully you guys can give me some slack today. It's so funny. I was actually at a meeting with my lead developer and my assistant earlier today, and I kept making stupid mistakes like this. And I said, I'm sorry, my brain's not working today. So apparently it's still not quite functioning properly. I just got off my antibiotics. So. All right, 420.56 update. There we go. Now we have a fully accurate proposal. So good job, everybody. Nice catch there. Yes, good. Heartland usually. Really? So they charge 2 basis points. That's funny. I haven't seen a Heartland statement in a little while. So good stuff. All right, everybody. Let me show you one more thing really quick. I wish I had more time about this, but let me just show you really quick. So first of all, hopefully all of you at this point go to instantquotetool.com and sign up if you haven't already. It's awesome. It's a great tool. We spend a lot of time on it. Last thing I want to show you is if you are a Pro Club member, and only if you're a Pro Club member, if you click up here and click on your settings, in addition to managing your programs, you can also now manage your campaigns. What is this? This is exciting. So this is now going to be the link that you're going to want to create to post on all your social media profiles. It is awesome. What you do is you can make a new campaign. So let's call this campaign the local small business campaign, right? We're going to choose a program. Let's choose Interchange Plus. And we're going to choose a proposal template. And let's choose standard. We don't want to do side by side here, and you'll see why in a minute. We're going to get a notification email. So I want to get a notification email if I get a lead. We can also put a webhook. This is for your CRM if you want to send leads to your CRM automatically. I'm not going to dive into that. You can ask support about that if you need that. Then we're going to change our merchant type header. I'm not going to do anything with this. You could also choose a specific business type. Again, I'll put some videos in the FAQ about this because I know I'm going to have to go through this way too fast, but I just want to show you because it's so cool. So again, we name our campaign. We choose one program and one proposal template. And we can choose a specific business type if we're only targeting, pizza shops or something like that. Then down here, we can choose the fields that we want to have on our lead capture form. So I'm going to say the business name is optional, the contact name is required, the phone number is required, the email is required, the years in business is hidden, and the notes field is optional. So now I'm going to save it. And now this is so cool. We can do 2 different things with it. One is we can just grab this link and visit the link directly. So this is where you put a link in your Facebook campaign or whatever. We'll talk about this a lot more in the workshop coming up, by the way, on June 25th about marketing. Or you could grab the iframe and you can literally iframe this right into your website, like a WordPress or Wix website, or Wix. Wix. I have Wix stuck in my head now. Wix website. But let's see what this looks like. So I'm going to open this in a new private window. Pull this over here. So this is what your merchant would see, okay? So this is this is for a merchant, not for you. So the merchant's going to go, okay, what type of business is it? Well, I'm a quick service restaurant. They put in their total volume. By the way, you can adjust this as well as far as which fields you want. But they would put in, let's say they do 15,000 in volume. You could also add a total fee field here if you wanted. They put in their average ticket, their total volume. They click on continue. Then they put their information in here. Continue. You could be paying only $397.40 per month. And here it is. And then they can grab their PDF if they want, which will have all the details here. Right? So, again, I didn't update my profile, but all your information is there. And now they can get a proposal. So that's an awesome way for you to grab lead information. And that will actually send I don't have my email pulled up, but that will actually send me an email that says you just got a new lead from the local small business campaign. How about that, huh? Pretty cool. So again, a lot of different stuff you can do with that. A lot of different options there, but that's what that does. Okay. By the way, right here is where you can add the total fees. So you can say, required total fees, or you can make it optional. Let me save that and I'll show you what that does. So the only thing that does different is now if I click on this link here, now when I choose my business and I put in, let's say, 20,000 in volume, now I can put my total fees in. If I do, then it's not only going to show me, hold on. Now it's not only going to show me what I would be paying, it's going to give me that full view and show me my monthly savings too. So that's what will happen there. And if they don't put it, that's fine. You can make it optional, and then it would show what they would be paying with you. So those are campaigns. Definitely, if you're the Pro Club, build a campaign, try it out. It's an awesome marketing tool. And again, we'll talk a lot more about that in our 4-hour marketing workshop, June 25th. All right, everybody. Last chance for questions. If you got them, I will do my best to answer them here. Anybody got any questions for me? Just type them out over to the right. Hopefully this was a good workshop for you that'll give you some good information on how to go ahead and do a full side-by-side comparison using our tool. If you have any questions, again, that's why we have this little support icon down here. Feel free to click on that and put your information in there with any questions that you have. Yes, Mark, I'm going to make sure everybody has that template for sure. So, okay, I don't see anything else. All right, everybody. Hey, thank you all I'm sorry. Yeah, of course, monthly cost. Some of you aren't signed up. It's $29 a month for the instant quote tool after your 30-day trial, or it's $99 a month if you upgrade to the Pro Club and get all of our training content, our workshops, and the instant quote tool and the community. So $29 a month for what I showed you today, 30-day free trial. Awesome. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. Hope you all have a tremendous rest of your day. And I'm sure you'll be hearing from me soon with videos and emails and LinkedIn and all the other cool stuff we're always doing here. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day.